I'm Taylor Heussner.
And I'm Bailee Netsch.
And we're here at the Wildcat Report. And the musical is coming up is on March 22nd through the 25th, so make sure you get your tickets and go.
Yep, they're on sale right now in the Commons, and you can also buy them at the door. A little more expensive at the door, but hey, it'll be a good show.
And now we go to Sarah and Kylie with the debate.
Hi, I'm Sarah Vogel.
And I'm Kylie Widseth, and we're with the Wildcat Report.
Millard West senior debater Peyton Chudak has made one of the biggest accomplishments in debate.
Peyton will be attending nationals this June in Indianapolis.
Once you make it to a certain point, like the first and second place, make it to nationals, and as soon as I hit a girl from my team and she let me have a bye over her.
With Peyton, no, it was much tougher. It was a very tough division. I thought she'd be one of the top 3 or 4, but I did not have an absolute expectation Peyton would win.
At districts, the number of competitors made pressure very high.
In my district, there was about 16 competitors, the top 4 people from every school could bring their best 4 people basically. And then overall there was probably maybe about 80 debaters.
All of the Millard West teams placed extremely well in districts.
To do a national bid at districts, it's based on the number of teams that are there. And if you have from 1 team to 9 teams, there's 1 bid. If you have 10 to I don't know the exact number, I don't know if there's any more higher than that, but if there's 10 teams or more, there are 2 bids that are given out. And so we placed first and second, and Lana first, and Wimbo and myself second, so we got that second bid to nationals.
Our PF team did pretty well, and in LD we also had the 3rd and 4th place.
Getting ready for debate competitions isn't as easy as it seems.
We work like crazy, we practice, we research, I grill them on what their cases are. We all work together to challenge each other, and we do a lot of research, we do a lot of practice rounds, we do a lot of preparation for other teams' arguments and strategy to try to defeat other teams. We do what we need to do to be a good team.
Basically, arguments change from round to round, drastically depending on what your opponent is arguing. So every round is going to be different in terms of what you're arguing or what gets said.
Mr. Robertson's coaching style may be different than any other.
He basically helps us go over arguments that we turn into our cases, and he judges all of our practice rounds. So he basically keeps us on track with where we should be going in terms of getting ready for tournaments and stuff.
I believe in coaching during the week much more than trying to put extra stuff on people at the tournament. The other thing I do though is I try to give really good advice on judges because I've been coaching for a long time and I know most of the judges very well.
All of Mr. Robertson's preparations have allowed Peyton to grow as a debater.
It definitely helps me learn to work with other people well and to deal with conflicts with others with a cool head instead of just getting mad. So it helps me negotiate.
The state competition, which will be held March 23rd and 24th at Lincoln Southwest High School, is Millard West's final tournament this year.
This has been Kylie Widseth
and Sarah Vogel. Back to you.
Thanks, guys. And you ladies wanting to try out for Millard West Color Guard, the tryouts are starting. They start the 14th, go through the 16th, and you should meet in the Millard West Band Room at 3:30.
Yes. And now we go to Brandon and Bailee with 30 seconds of sports.
Start with straight shots and then pop bottles. Yeah. Flirt with the hood rats, then pop models. Start with straight shots and then pop bottles. Yeah. Flirt with the hood rats, then pop bottles.
Hi, I'm Brandon. I'm Bailee, and this is Sports in 30 Seconds. First of all, swimming placed second next to Westside at the state championship. They couldn't get the 5 meet, but they still fared very well in the meet, so good job, swim team.
Championship week is coming in for men's and women's college basketball. Look for Selection Sunday this Sunday, and March Madness is starting soon. So
also, fill out your brackets, all of you. We want to see a bracket competition at Millard West, so all of you just fill out your brackets. We're going to do some brackets. We're going to come with a broadcast next week on that.
Try and do better than us. Go for it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brandon and Bailee. And Thursday, the 15th, is the AP kickoff. It starts at 5:30. You should definitely come because there will be free food, free t-shirts, free prizes, a whole bunch of good stuff.
Have a little bit of fun before all the stress starts.
Yeah, no kidding.
And now we're going to go to Caroline with a report on the previous Teacher Appreciation Week.
Hi, this is Caroline Wong with Wildcat Report. Everyone knows how teachers are undervalued and underpaid. This is where Teacher Appreciation Week comes in. Teacher Appreciation Week celebrates teachers and their impacts on the lives of students.
My favorite teacher is Mr. Young because his class is fun and outgoing, and he chooses a lot of choice books.
My favorite teacher would have to be Mr. Wildcat because he doesn't give us any homework on Fridays.
My favorite teacher would probably be Mrs. Ivers, the Spanish teacher. I don't think that's her last name anymore, but she's nice to me and she helped me pass the class.
My favorite teachers are Mr. Bjornson, and he's from the music department, Mr. Catron, and he's from the English department, and Mrs. Hoffman. Whenever I'm in their classes, it's like you can feel yourself learning, and that's a really great thing.
I like Miss Havorka because she puts up with me.
But I think Mr. Robertson's really cool. He's really wise and he always knows what he's talking about.
I like Mr. Wildcat because he's a really nice teacher and he's funny and like plays around with his students instead of being really serious.
I like Mrs. Fox because she's really nice.
Mr. Davis because he's just really cool and laid back and he teaches really well and I learned a lot from him.
Okay, my favorite teacher would probably have to be Mr. Bull because he's nice.
Mr. Thompson-Crude. He made science really fun and not boring.
My favorite teacher is Mr. Smith because he lets you do whatever you want and he's also a good teacher and teaches you things when you need it to be.
My favorite teacher is Mr. Colony. He's just fun to talk to, like he's not a boring teacher.
Mr. Menzer. He is my favorite teacher because he's laid back, but he's just hilarious.
Well, Mr. Berzine is pretty cool right now. I have him for physics class, and he's really passionate. He would draw interesting things like babies falling off beds.
Favorite teacher probably have to be Mr. Young. Sometimes he'll give us candy or whatever.
Favorite teacher is Mr. Krause because he's really fun to be with in rehearsal.
This is Van Winkel, and because she is a teacher who is really interested in how do you feel as a student and want to say thank you to every teacher here.
I'm thankful for our teachers.
Everyone should appreciate all of their teachers because, like, you know, they go into teaching because they love it, but like what they would want more is for the students to love like the classes that they're in.
As for my favorite teacher, well, you know who you are. This has been Caroline Wong with Wildcat Report.
Thanks, Caroline, and here's a commercial from Eco West Club with Earth Day.
So Millard West Environmental Club is supporting the Earth Hour, which is a worldwide event on March 31st at 8:30 p.m. Basically what you do is for an hour you keep all the lights off at your house, unplug things like cell phone chargers, TVs, radios, practice recycling cans, papers, stuff like that. And the Millard West Club is supporting it, and you can too by buying a t-shirt.
They are for sale this week. Here's the front and the back. During QT, you get a slip, and they're $12. You turn them into Mrs. Urich.
Seniors, if you didn't pick up your school traditions graduation stuff this last week, you're going to have to go to the building because they're not coming back to West to pass stuff out.
So make sure you do that because you don't want to be the only one without it.
And their address and phone number is on the Millard West website.
And now we have a story with Andrew and Lauren about hardworking staff here at Millard West.
With a school this size, students at Millard West would be surprised to know that there are only a dozen or so custodians that work and clean up the entire school.
Start at 6 o'clock. I come in, I have to clean the black box. I got to do the boys and girls restroom down this hallway. And I go in and I do the auditorium. That usually takes me up to when school starts.
I'll just go through, clean the rooms, and try and get some extra stuff done, like dusting and mopping and all that.
Sweet part of this, and check for spills, and then if they have any supplies or stuff that we've gotten in, either from UPS, FedEx, or from our own delivery, and then go around and deliver that.
Many of the custodians that worked at Millard West had previous jobs.
I worked in a grocery store.
Before I was old enough to drive, I did custodial work with my grandmother, stuff like that.
Worked for myself in drywall. Broke all my bones and had nothing else to do.
Last year, due to budget cuts, many of the custodians that used to work at Millard West were relocated to other schools, thus shrinking the population of custodians at Millard West.
Because of custodian cuts, that one cut about 5 people's areas got bigger.
Each custodian shares their pet peeves about what makes their job more difficult throughout the school day.
What's irritating is you guys' indifference to not throwing anything away. You just, okay, you get done, you throw it on the floor. Oh, you drop a drink instead of letting somebody know about it. You'll either kick the bottle and that out of the way, and then you never say anything to anybody.
Black stains off the floors and stuff like that. Shoe marks.
The commons after lunch. It's trashed, it's nasty.
They went and plugged up one of the toilets and took a dump and then stood there and flushed until he flooded the floor, so you had all these little pieces. Pick up your trash, walk it over to the trash can and throw it in instead of dumping it on the floor. And if you make a spill, let somebody know. Just don't dump it all over and then run off and laugh about it as you think it's so funny. Yeah, I've seen them do it. So I've tracked them down and made them come back.
The people are really nice, work together as a team. Money pays pretty good. Things like that.
Sometimes this job is aggravating, but it's humble. It's a very humble job.
As you can see, there's a lot more to the janitors at our school. They have their own lives that they live. They do a whole bunch of other things for our school. And, I mean, they help make the school look great. This is Andrew Johnson reporting.
Thanks, Andrew and Lauren. And that's all we have for your Wildcats this week, so we'll see you next week on the Wildcat Report.